Lesson 1, G string review. Part 1 of review from Learn Violin Fast, Book 2. Before we dive into new skills, let's take a moment to review what you've learned in Book 1 by practicing these pieces. Pluck the strings, play pizzicato, and play with the bow or arco. Aim to memorize and practice the power of 10, which means playing the pieces 10 times a day. Feel free to mix it up your practice routine by plucking, copying, writing down the note names, and playing with the bow. To help with memorization, write down the note names from memory and try humming them too. So for example, grab a piece of paper, grab a pencil or a pen, and write down the notes or the letters for Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, Hot Cross Buns, Jingle Bells, or perhaps even a scale. Lesson 1, I'm going to play with the bow. This is G string review. This page has whole notes, half notes, quarters, and also dotted half notes. We're going to learn in more detail dotted half notes later in this book. Just know that when you see an open circle with a stem and a dot on the side, it's 3/4 notes. It's a dotted half note and it's to be held for 3/4 notes. And you'll notice that the distance between the dotted half note and the next 4th quarter is quite large. So you hold it for 3 counts, and then the last one is a quarter note. This is number 1, G string review. 1, 2, 3, 4. You've noticed that when I played, my bow speed had to change. For whole notes, my bow was moving quite slow. For half notes, I used a medium speed bow and I used the full bows. Now for quarter notes, I played in the middle of the bow, so not at the tip, not at the frog, right in the middle, with separate bows, and this is what's called détaché. I believe in French it just means detached, but this is what most of the playing will be, the middle of the bow in quarter notes that are not connected or slurred. At the very end, you notice how I had the down bows were 3 counts to 1 bow, and the up bows only had 1. Because the distance of the bow does not change, so what we had to do was play 3 times as slower for the dotted half note and 3 times as fast for the quarter note. Now, in order not to make it too loud when you move the bow fast, I made the bow much lighter. These are all techniques that we will explore later in the lessons, but for now, just know that you just have to start thinking about your bow speed, and your long notes typically require slower bow speed, and shorter notes, if you have long notes in between, you have to move the bow faster, not to get stuck at the tip. I hope this was helpful. You can review, you can pluck, you can bow, you can write down anything you need to. In the next lesson, we're going to learn rigadun. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next class.